Hello, everybody, and welcome to another MyMusic. Now, today, rocking perfect pink, because it's one of my favorite colors, as you can see from the ambience around. We have Stormia, who will be coming to talk to me and you about her life in music so far. Just stay around, watch the video, wave at the cat, and then come back.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Stormia, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, that's lovely. Where are you coming from?
Right now, I'm in London, but I come from Poland originally.
Oh, which part of Poland?
It's close to Wrocław.
Right. And what's it like there? What was it like growing up there?
I'd say much more peaceful than London. It's my first time living in a big city. It's mostly like, just a few schools, one big shopping mall, and lots of nature all around.
Lots of nature. You need to come to the southwest of the UK.
Southwest? Where is it?
So we're in Somerset. You have to say it like that, Somerset, right? And it's on. So London's on the east side of the country, and then if you literally go from London across to the west side, then that's where we are.
That's where you recommend the landscape and
absolutely. We've got beaches, we've got nice countryside, we've got not a lot going on, but we've got cider being made and then shipped over to London,
Nice.
Yes, exactly. You can actually go and see things how they were made hundreds of years ago, and they're still being made in the same way. And everybody, so many artists, they come across from other countries and they immediately gravitate towards London. Why London for you?
So it started in 2020. I graduated from high school and I was researching music universities, and most of the ones I was interested in were in London. Eventually, I got accepted in Southampton and London, and I was choosing between these two. So in another universe, I might have ended up in Southampton.
Oh, you would certainly have been nearer. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So which university did you end up at?
I went to ICMP in Kilburn.
Oh, cool. Was it a bit, so other than the surroundings, was it all a bit of a culture shock for you?
Probably, because prior to moving, I've never been to UK.
Right.
So I just packed everything, and that was the first time I stepped my foot in this place.
Wow.
And going to the institute, it was just beautiful experience because so many people from different cultures, from different music backgrounds were suddenly collaborating with each other. So it definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone and then opened my perspective to many different styles of writing than I would have ever imagined myself of doing.
I was going to ask, so how has it inspired your music, or how has it sort of like permeated into your music? Do you feel like you now have kind of a part London, part Poland sound? Do you feel like, you're the, if you like, the melting pot of all of the places that you come from?
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. I didn't think about it that way, but probably yes, because before I came to London, I was very scared to do electronic production, and I was just so discouraged or intimidated by the DAWs. I was like, oh, I would never understand how it works. And then in uni, I was just basically forced to write songs on this, and it ended up being my favorite instrument. Like now, when everybody asks me what instruments I'm playing, I say I make music on my laptop, and I feel great about that because it just this like magic device with like, I don't know. I listened to a podcast by Björk, Sonic Symbolism, I think.
Yeah.
And in one of the episodes, she talks about how discovering like making music on laptops was such a massive breakthrough for her as an artist. So yeah, I'm basically experiencing like a little Björk situation in my life.
Is someone like Björk a big inspiration for you? I mean, for me, she's one of the most important artists that we've had over the last, 30 years or so, because of the way that she's invented music in a way, or how she's deconstructed music and then kind of put it back together again in her unique way.
Basically, I wouldn't say. I mean, now I think she's my inspiration when it comes to perceiving my own work. Basically, I had no idea about Björk before I started uni, and suddenly different tutors told me, oh, you should definitely check out Björk because she's so similar to you. And that's how I found out about her. So I feel like our creative paths are parallel, but I never like actually used her as my inspiration. I think it's just a little accident. And another thing, like I said, the thing that influenced me from London. So we have this like big electronic scene here, and then the parts I take from my Polish side. I think it's the Slavic folklore, singing techniques, like white voice singing techniques, different harmonies, maybe some cultural references in the lyrics.
Maybe that's why people are trying to make the comparison with Björk as well, because obviously she brought in an awful lot of her Icelandic background. I mean, she started making music at something like 8, I think. Her first album, where she was really young. Her initial work was kind of it was all in Icelandic, and it was quite folky, etc. And then she discovered sort of electronic music after going through punk and everything else as well. So yeah, maybe that's why people are putting that reference point on you.
Probably.
Yeah. Where for you as a sort of fan of music, where did you start to get really impassioned by music? Who was the first person you were listening to that you thought, oh, I want to do that?
So the first memory, probably I was watching Red Hot Chili Peppers on YouTube. Right. Yes, I was like, wow, these are sick music videos. And like I was watching the Can't Stop music video. I was like, wow, they are so cool. I want to do this. And then maybe a few years later, I saw a music video on Lady Gaga Poker Face. I was just like, wow, she's the best musician I've ever seen, and that's how it started for me.
So that right, there's a couple of things there. So Red Hot Chili Peppers, there's a vibe. You need the vibe, right? Mm-hmm. Lady Gaga, there's a whole aesthetic. There's the look. There's the production, the feel of it, etc. as well.
A persona.
The persona, yeah, absolutely. The ability to sort of like build that up and then rip it down and then come back with something completely different again. Is that where you see your career going in terms of, or your creativity going in terms of what you want to do? You want to put up a persona, you want to rip it down, you want to reshape?
I feel like I want to create some sort of persona with my work. I like to think of, because Lady Gaga is like, of course she has a persona, but there's not like a clear universe to it. I like to think about Aurora. If you think about Aurora, she has this like whole universe. This is like magical universe. I think that's what I want to do with Stormia project.
Yeah. Have you ever seen her live?
No.
Oh, you should see her live.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. I feel like when you see her live, and are you the same as this? You just feel like she she goes off with the fairies, right? You
She
feel
goes
like,
off with the fairies. Yeah.
yeah, right. You feel like she's not really. She knows there's an audience there, and she does talk to the audience really well. But you feel like as the music starts, she's just in a different world. She's just completely inhabiting this other world, and she's almost kind of like just concerned with taking herself there, and you'll see that. And she draws an audience in just by you watching this person go off with the fairies into her own little world. Are you similar when you perform?
Yes. At the same time, I try to work with the audience. Like I try to maintain like I feel like for Aurora is like very effortless, but I had this, actually it's funny that we talk about like going off with the fairies and like seeing Aurora live, because I played on a festival in Poland this summer, and one of the sound engineers, he was like, wow, when I heard you singing these few songs, they were like more folky, Slavic folklore vibe. He was like, I felt the same when I heard Aurora sing live for the first time. So
That's,
I think
it's
there's a
lovely to
connection
have.
there.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's lovely to have. Are you more worried about where the career goes or the art? For you, what's the more important thing weight wise?
Oh, like commercial versus the true art.
Yeah.
I think I'm like right in the middle on the spectrum, because obviously it would be lovely to make profit of my music. Right now I'm a part-time waitress in a pub, so I would love to reach this point of my life that I can just remove this little part-time job and just focus fully on music. So I don't feel like my career succeeding would necessarily mean I need to sacrifice some of my artistic vision. I feel like it's all about how you sell it, how you present it to the audience. Like there's so many examples of musicians who don't really, at least that's how I see it. It seems like they don't really compromise their vision, but they're still successful. Maybe like Show Me the Body, a band from New York City, or like Björk, she does whatever she wants.
I feel it's a difficult one, but I feel like even if you take an artist like Björk, right? Let's go back there for a second. You know, people can say, well, she kind of followed her indie heart all the way through, and she did. I mean, you know, a lot of her work isn't commercial per se. However, I feel like she made sensible commercial decisions at the right time in her career to enable her career to be as ongoing as it was. And I think every artist needs to do that if they're sensible about it. I mean, you know, the time when she was with Goldie, etc., and she was doing perhaps like the first album was slightly more commercial. The second album with It's Oh So Quiet, very clever commercial. However you look at it, great version of the song, but a very clever commercial hit in a way, you know. And then following on from that, some of her albums have been much more difficult to listen to on first listen, and therefore much less commercial. But that's part and parcel of what you earn as an artist by actually perhaps sometimes being a little bit more commercial in the early part of your career. Do you agree with that?
Yes, even you can even see that with Aurora. She blew up after this. I think it's called John Lewis. Like John Lewis has this like famous commercials, and she sang a cover of some famous song for this commercial. So yeah, but she still made it true to herself. So that's what matters. There's moments when you just do your job. Somebody gives you a job and you perform it the best way you can to stay true to yourself. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's just the way. This is just a performer's job.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she's very savvy as well. She's made some good commercial decisions. She sung at the Olympics, I think, as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she sung at the Olympics, and also she did Frozen, didn't she, as well? She did the
Yes. Oh, that was perfect.
a
Wow.
little bit. Yeah. It was small but perfect, and it kind of fitted in with the fairies thing as well, didn't it?
Yes,
So,
she was literally like a fantastic creature of the movie.
yeah. I think, sometimes I think artists get a hard rap for perhaps choosing more commercial things to do, but actually I feel if you feel happy with it, and it's maybe just an ambition of yours anyway, then I don't think it matters. I think when it goes against your soul completely, or your heart completely, and you know that this really isn't you, and you wouldn't want to be associated with this in any way, that's when it's dangerous, isn't it? So tell the people out there, what are you writing about? By the way, if you're a waitress, obviously, in a cocktail bar, that's a great thing to write about. Let's face it, people have had big hits with writing about waitresses and cocktail bars. But what?
Yeah, the song "Diner on the Corner" or something like that.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the Human League song. I was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. Big hit, right? So
Yeah, I like it. Like this style of writing is like it's very natural. It's like almost you're talking to the artist. They're just telling you about your life. It's just very conversational tone.
that's what I was doing today. I was up to that. What are you writing about? Right, in your songs at the moment, what goes through your head? What did when you look at the world?
Mm-hmm.
What makes you want to put pen to paper?
So my music makes me want to put pen to paper because I start with melodies. I start with arrangement, instruments, the overall vibe on my DAW, and then I listen to it. I create a melody, and I put words on top of that. So it's
interesting. Is it always the same? Do you always go like top melody first, or do you have just like a little
90% of the time? Other than that,
and you go, right, that's it.
Basically writing a song in like a gibberish language.
Yeah.
And then trying to create a proper amount of syllables to like make it rhythmical. But other times, if I'm like on a tube or I don't know, just had the sudden idea, I pull up my phone, and in the notes I usually write like maybe observations about people, sometimes philosophical. I think it's mostly philosophical. My music is not necessarily like romantic focused. I think it's usually like philosophical observations of the world or introspective kind of things about myself.
What would you say? Pessimist, optimist, realist? Where do you sit on that spectrum?
I'd say a playful realist.
Oh.
Yeah, I like to make it a bit humorous at parts, and I like to be honest with my lyrics. I like to be straightforward. I also feel like that's why people told me about Björk in comparison to me, because she's very like straightforward. She is very poetical with her lyrics, and sometimes people don't know what she's even talking about. But it's this particular way of writing about certain topics. Lately, I've been writing about war, about capitalism, about overstimulation in a big city. And I like to center my writing in like female gaze. which is, I think it's quite refreshing.
Yeah, no, it is. Talking about Björk, when Björk first came out as well, one of the things I think that she did very, very well is, I think a lot of journalists thought she's a little bit dumb. She's not actually that clever and whatever. And what she would do very well is almost tease them and then go and then put them down. Do you feel like the world's moved on from that now? Do you feel like you're getting people ask you sensible questions, or do you still feel like sometimes when you have you had many interviews, by the way?
I only had one.
Right. Do you feel like sometimes people ask you daft questions?
Not really, but
Good. Then
I
you've had
think
good interviews, right?
yeah, I had good interviews. I feel like maybe if I become more successful, then I'm gonna be exposed to more mainstream
Bad interviews.
bad interviews,
Does
because
happen. Yeah.
the higher you go, the more clowns you encounter, I feel like.
I like that sentiment. I think that's possibly true. How will you deal with that?
I guess the way to deal with these things is just to detach yourself a little bit, because obviously that person, if they're asking a stupid question, they're not in my head, right? So they have their own set of experience. They perceive my creation through their own lens, and sometimes maybe they even want to ask a stupid question just to, like, now on the internet there's this like rage bait thing, like getting more clicks because you're saying something controversial. So I feel like maybe not taking things so seriously, because you don't know the intention.
I like that. That's sensible. That's incredibly sensible. How do you feel about people that listen to your music? What do you ever perceive people that listen to your music in a particular way? Do you think, oh, people that listen to my music are thinking this about my music? Or are you like, do you never have any kind of preconception of how people are listening to your music?
The first so there's like a few archetypes of people who listen to music. The first archetype is my grandma. she just watches, listens to everything, and she loves it, and she cries, and she's just so happy for me. Second archetype, probably just like a typical listener, but I've noticed most of my listeners are very like, they're not just a random listener, they actually care about it. They come back to my music every now and then, and they actually put some thought into, like, they take in my music consciously. They have some, I don't know, introspection, some thoughts about it. And then another archetype would be my musician friends, and they would listen to my music and watch my music videos from their music perspective. They're like probably analyzing it from the behind the scenes aspect.
That's interesting. You've really thought about that. Now, which one of those do you love the most? Please say it's Granny.
Yeah. I was trying to create a creative response, but yeah, Granny.
I'd like to think it's Granny as well. You know, I think, do you know what? Genuinely, just being moved by somebody's output, their art and whatever, because there's love and relationship there, I think is a beautiful thing, don't you? I think sometimes we overcomplicate the dynamic, and we think, actually, you know, I want people to do this, respond in a certain way, or whatever. And do you know what? Sometimes even whether she understands it or not, she just loves you for who you are and the fact that you're doing this. Has she said to you that has she ever said to you anything in particular that's been really inspiring to you about wanting you to fulfill your dreams with your music?
Yes. Since I was smaller, she was saying, she was saying it in Polish, but I'm gonna try to translate it. Basically, the world belongs to the brave people.
I love it.
Yeah. So it was like encouraging me to get out of, to cross the border of fear. Basically, everything I want is on the other side of the fear. Yeah.
You see, sometimes when I make these things, I try and inhabit somebody's world for a little bit. And what I'm thinking, whilst I was thinking about that and talking about that, what I was thinking is that's going to be a beautiful clip for you in like 10 years' time when you've completely smashed it out the park and you're there, right? And you're having one of those days where you may be dealing with a little bit of insecurity around whatever, and you can watch that back and you can go, that's why I do this.
Yes. Yes.
See,
That's
we
very
all
wholesome.
need those little moments, right?
Yes.
We need those people in our lives, and we need those little moments to kind of ground us and bring us back to and make us realize why we're doing this. If anybody watching this hasn't listened to your music before, why should they listen to it?
They should listen to it to maybe surprise themselves a bit.
Oh, yes.
Be like, oh, what is this? Because it's definitely different from the top lists currently, like what's trending. I'd say they should listen to it if they want to hear a fusion of brutalism and Slavic folklore, because this is basically what I do.
I love that. Brutalism and Slavic folklore. That, as a description, full stop, just stops people in its tracks, doesn't it?
I hope so.
Now, with that in mind, those different aspects of your music that you currently make, who would you most like to work in the studio with? If I can give you free rein to either a producer or an engineer or an artist.
Flume.
Yes, why?
Because I'm obsessed with him. I saw him live in Berlin. He's so talented, and he has such a particular talent of finding collaborators. He's a great vocal producer. Whenever he takes some vocalist on a project, you can just see them shine in ways they haven't before. Like, he really is great at finding their strengths and just putting color to it.
Do you know, sometimes when I have people on and I ask that question, they have to think about it, and there's like a little moment and they go, oh, that's a difficult question. But you were like, boom, straight out of the stocks with that. Do you know what I mean? You were totally there. So that has to happen.
I hope so.
I was going to say, you manifested that. Is that something like you've put on a wall and you've gone, right, Flume is happening. It's happening. It's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, just in my head all the time. Like, wow.
Right. Cool. Listen, folks, you can help with this. We will tag Flume in when this goes out, and the clip will be there. So you can help Stormia. We've tried this and we've done this before. We have made things happen right on here. So if you enjoy Stormia's music and you would love Stormia and Flume as a collab to happen, then all you've got to do is continue to tag Stormia in, and if that with Flume, and see if we can make that happen. That would be marvelous. You'd like that, wouldn't you? I mean,
yes, let's do it, guys.
This could be an early Christmas present for Stormia, right? This time next year there might be the collaboration could have all happened, and we might be coming back to talk about it. What's the one way that you need help now, other than this collaboration with Flume? But what's the one way that people can help you now, if they're listening to this, to
Mhm.
enhance your career and take you to the next step?
Well, I have a GoFundMe page on my Instagram where I just collect funds for developing my music. And other than that, if you know any live music promoters that would be interested in having me, let me know.
There you go. That's good practical stuff that you can do out there. Go to the GoFundMe, put a little bit of money in the old hat. That's a beautiful thing. And if you're primarily in and around the London area, yeah, you looking for gigs at the moment?
But actually, not even only in London. In 2 weeks, I'm going to Copenhagen to perform a concert. Yes. So I guess I'm just open to all locations.
All locations, even the southwest of England. If you're in the southwest of England, and we'd love to get Stormia over here so we can see her, right? Then do get in touch. Some of the money might go towards pink balls.
Pink.
Pink balls, like you've got in the background there. Some
Oh,
of the,
yes.
some of the money might go to that. I mean, it's just a thing. One of the things I'm particularly interested in your little background there, which you've kept nice and minimal, but you've managed to make it quite arty all at the same time, is always the book under the plant. Because I mean, a book under a plant means that book's not going to get read
It already was read.
because it's already read.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you a big reader?
I wish I was. I have a little pile of books here that are next to my bed, and it's basically supposed to remind me every day, reach out for this book, no more scrolling, just read me.
Oh, are you a bit of a scroll addict?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I have
What?
ADHD, so I'm very big on like dopamine addiction.
Yeah. What's your scroll habit of choice right at this moment?
Instagram.
Yeah, but what are you looking at on there?
I'm mostly looking at influencers and musicians, just to like I make it an excuse. Oh, I'm teaching myself how to be present online. Like I'm shadowing other influencers, but at some point it just turns into scrolling.
Yeah, I've got a big thing at the moment. Just I find, especially at night, just before I go to bed, I am listening to a book at the same time. So I'm trying to do both. But I find like just watching a little bit of comedians really helps as well. I quite like just seeing like those quick one-liner jokes, whatever. It just kind of cheers you up just before you go off to sleep. That way,
Yeah, what a nice way to finish a day.
yeah, exactly. Try and finish on a positive note rather than a negative note. I think that's good. But tonight, folks, I'll be listening to Stormia before I fall asleep. That's it. That's what I've dedicated my time to that now, and maybe you could too. So just before you go to sleep tonight, go and check out Stormia, find a track, and listen to it as you fall asleep. Okay, and then when you wake up the next morning, just go and tell her what it meant to you. Okay, don't tell her necessarily about the dream, unless it's a very creative, good one. All right. Only the nice dreams, please. We'll keep it to that. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing a little bit. Let's hope the flume thing comes off. We will try and make that happen.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very talented Stormia, who you will hear more of in the future, because but only if you make it happen. So we want you to get involved. We want you to make it happen. Go to the GoFundMe page, put a little bit of the old dosh in there as well. We will be back soon with more MyMusic. But until then, from Stormia and myself, bye for now.